Do you want to Avada Kedavra your Hogwarts classmates? Have you ever wanted to slaughter a whole group of enemies with one spell? Well, yeah, with these insane Hogwarts Legacy spell hacks, you can be the Dark Lord that you were always meant to be. Yeah, that's what we're exploring today, so let's do it. In at 10, Avada Kedavra. Avada Kedavra is one of the strongest spells in Hogwarts Legacy because of its ability to, well, kill anything in one shot, which I mean, duh, it's the killing curse for a reason. But due to its strength, Avada Kedavra is a spell that you learn pretty damn late into Hogwarts Legacy from Sebastian Sallows. Despite the fact that, from my understanding, at least from the Harry Potter universe, is that all you need is the name of the spell, and then you can use it, but whatever, I don't know. It's at the top of this list, however, because while it is the killing curse and a one-shot, making it the best offensive spell in the game, it's limited in the sense that you get it later on in the game, after like the main story boss. So it's difficult to get, which makes it somewhat worse, but it's also limited because it can only target a single individual and then takes ages to recharge. Yeah, but there's a way that you can make it absolutely insane. In at 9, Crucio. To get Crucio, you just need to start the Sebastian questline and then finish the side quest in the Shadow of the Bloodline, which starts in the Great Hall. It automatically gets added to your quest log after progressing through the story far enough, and specifically after completing the main quest number 29, which is Astronomy class. Then you'll get this spell in Shadow of the Study, which is the second quest in Sebastian's story. During in the Shadow of the Study, after going through the Dark Dungeon and talking to Sebastian, you have to pick the dialogue, "Teach me the Cruciatus Curse," and then I'll cast it on you, which is just kind of badass in my opinion. Like, yeah, yo man, can you teach me this torture spell so I can use it on your sorry ass? But yeah. But then you're taught the Crucio unforgivable curse, and then you can use it in combat against enemies. There's no negative side effects for using it and unlocking it for some reason. It doesn't change anything in the story or side quests. You don't get any sort of punishment for using one of the 3 illegal spells in the world. The only drawback is that the spell is also a long cooldown compared to regular damage spells, but if you work at it and you combine it with the previous, you'll see some insane but specifically in at 8, Avada Kedavra Mastery. See, this is how you can become the most powerful of all dark wizards in Hogwarts Legacy, if you choose to do this. And this setup allows you to do some insanely overpowered things that can take out massive groups of enemies with one spell. Yeah. What is essentially the glass cannon build for Hogwarts Legacy, if you know Crucio and Avada Kedavra spells, along with the mastery talents for these curses, you can be what is essentially death itself. Okay, you can't make any wands out of tree branches or cloaks by just cutting off your robe, but still, it's nuts. Avada Kedavra normally only targets one enemy. However, AK Master Talent allows for the curse to hit anyone with the Hidden Curse status effect, which is given to players who are hit with an unforgivable curse that doesn't kill them. Crucio is the easiest way to apply this effect, and with the Crucio Mastery Talent, you can cause Crucio to spread to other nearby targets as well. Yeah, it's very useful for spreading curse to multiple enemies without actually having to target all of them, which is important because, well, once curse has been applied to all or almost all the enemies, or whichever ones you want to take out, you can use Avada Kedavra once and wipe them all out. It doesn't matter what enemy you hit, as long as they're all cursed, all you have to do is use it once and you score an instant kill on everyone around you. They'll all just fall to the floor. It's nuts. In at 7, Disillusionment. The Disillusionment Charm may not seem useful for combat, because it's not really, but it is useful for stealth, which has an impact if you're using spells like the freezing spell. I don't want to say it, okay? Or it's like Petrificus Totalis or Total Petrification if you don't want to sound like you're in a Wizards of Waverly Place episode. But you can use it to open chests that lock up if they can see you. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before you actually run into a Disillusionment chest on your travels, and you can't unlock it unless you're invisible, so there you go. The spell allows you to become invisible, you can sneak up, and you can open it. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, okay? They're giant boxes with an eye on the front. So I feel like it's kind of obvious when you gotta use it. And since there's no invisibility cloak and you probably don't want to use potions, you'll love this spell, especially if you're prone to stealth archer builds like I am. That's a Skyrim joke. Unfortunately though, this spell isn't available to students at the start of your journey. You can't. Yeah, you actually have to continue throughout the main quest line before you reach the Secrets of the Restricted section quest. But still, I don't know, I think we all want to be invisible at some point. I feel like it would be a great way to make money. In at 6, Flipendo. After completing Professor Garlick's first task, the second one rewards players with Flipendo. And this assignment it's weird, okay? It's the herbology professor, so there's going to be a lot of plants involved. So, to complete this second assignment, players will need to use all 3 combat plants at the same time, while also growing and harvesting a fluxweed plant. First of all, combat plants? What the hell is this? Am I going to use Razor Leaf? Is it super effective? Am I gonna Poison Ivy, Vine Whip? I don't know. The plant has to specifically be grown and harvested in the room of requirement, so you're gonna have fun with that, okay? You actually have to go out and buy the plant. And then Fluxweed itself takes like 15 real minutes to grow, which is a quarter of an hour I'm not getting back. So yeah, start it off at the beginning, I guess, and then you can do the other stuff. The seeds can be purchased in Hogsmeade for 350 galleons, and then after buying the seeds, you have to go to the room of requirement and then get a room that has a large pot. But that's not easy, so then you have to go to Tomes and Scrolls and then buy a scroll for the room of requirement, which I didn't think that was how it worked. I figured it was just whatever you're required, but okay, game, have your limits. And then the cheapest scroll for that is 1,000 galleons, so you're already out like 3.5, or not 3.5, 1.5 grand. I can't math. But then after you buy the seeds, you plant them, and then you gotta wait 15 minutes. So during that time, you need to find all 3 combat plants, whatever the hell that means, and then use them at once on an enemy. I don't know, that's a lot to do to get a spell that has nothing to do with plants. Just saying. Okay, it flips people upside down. Where's the plants in that? I don't know. Halfway through into number 5, Descendo. Haha, but while it is kind of pointless, Flipendo is worth it when you combine it with the Descendo spell, which I feel is self-explanatory, okay? Because like Flipendo flips your opponent upside down, and then Descendo makes them, well, descend quickly onto their back, and then they rise back up. So basically, you can be like the Hulk and just chain this over and over, and you can slam Loki back and forth, which is, yeah, it looks hilarious to actually watch happen. I would love that. I'm like, imagine like dribbling a basketball, right? But the basketball is a person. That's what this spell does, and it is glorious. In it for Confringo. That's how I'm saying it, all right? Like I said, I'm not a wizard, it's fine. This spell can be obtained during the main storyline, and of course, it's given to you by Sebastian, because he's a dick, and he gives you all the spells that hurt people. But I mean, I respect it. Towards the end of the term, players will receive an owl letter instructing them to meet Sebastian in the Dark Arts Tower. Upon arrival, players will be taken to the Undercroft. There is where Sebastian will teach you the spell. During the quest, you'll have to practice it on like chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, but I guess it's medieval Britain, so they're braziers, but I feel like people are gonna get that confused in the comments, but whatever, that's fine. And then once the quest is completed, you can use it whenever you want. The primary purpose of this spell, though, is to just counteract red shields, and actually hit people from a range. Yeah, it's better than things like Incendio, which is pretty trash when you think about it, but also why is it trash? It's literally a flamethrower coming out of a stick. It should be better than that. But considering how trash Incendio actually is compared to it, it shouldn't take us much time to learn it, okay? I mean, it really shouldn't. Come on, why aren't we learning this right off the bat? What happened to defending ourselves? I guess it's not really defense. It's more of pseudo Avada Kedavra, but that's fine. Getting close to the end of number 3, Bombarda. Basically the best offensive spell that is not illegal in the game. New spells are learned with extracurricular assignments, and their purpose is to like help catch you up to the level of a 5th year, because you start the game as a 5th year, which is kind of weird, but I mean, I kind of understand it, but like, oh well. Bombarda is the award for completing Professor Hallwin's assignment. I think that's how you say it. This quest is unavailable until after you've completed Charles Rockwood's second trial, whatever that means. I'm sure players of the game will understand it. But then after completing this, you'll receive an owl with the assignment. The assignment has you traveling around catching 2 different beasts that are conveniently locked on your map. These beasts are, they're kind of easy to catch, okay? It's a Diracol and a giant purple toad, which if you don't know what the last one is, it's a giant purple toad. After you catch these 2, you bring them back, and then after the next beast class, Bombarda will be taught to you. But like, my question is, why the hell are we learning this so goddamn late? Because you have to get a knapsack in order to actually capture the creatures, but you don't get a knapsack until you're level 15. Okay, so you're gonna be waiting a while to get the best non-illegal spell in the game. Like, I feel like I can get the illegal spells a little faster, you know? But ultimately, into number 2, Imperio. Imperio is classified as an unforgivable curse, but it can temporarily control enemies to fight for you. So yeah, mind control, that's fun. To obtain this curse, players, again, you get it from Sebastian, because like I said, he's a dick and he teaches you all the bad spells. But I mean, also, that's kind of sick, because like, come on. I feel like this might be better than learning it from Mad Eye Moody. You get it from In the Shadow of the Bloodline, which is the first quest in his storyline thing. So yeah, after completing astronomy class, you can actually get it first, which I mean, I guess is okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You control enemies. Okay, you find an ogre, then boom. He's just wiping out everyone for you. I don't know how else I can explain it. It's a good spell, but it's quite a bit to go through for a spell. All right, can't I just like have Mad Eye Moody's ancestor come in and just like shoot them all on like crabs? Was it crabs? I feel like it was some kind of crab in the movie. And I'll just like wipe them out and then be like, okay, I know what to do now. Come on. And finally, into number 1, Stupefy. This Stupefy is both simple to use and incredibly effective because it's basically the base spell in combat. Whenever the player blocks an enemy attack, you can follow it up with a counter attack, which is Stupefy, and you just continue to hold down the Protego button, whatever it is. I don't want to have to try to say the spells anymore. This will cause you to launch a Stupefy spell at whoever you're locked onto, but it doesn't actually have to be the person that you blocked. So it's a weird thing. Stupefy stuns the enemy that it hits, and then they take critical damage for the duration of the stun, so you can just like keep spamming them, and then they'll increasingly take more damage. So maybe, I don't know, considering how this is like a counter spell, it should be at the top of the list, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you think it's cheating, I don't care. Sometimes less is more though, alright? Simple is better. It's also worth noting that Stupefy targets whoever the player is actually locking onto, like I said, and not the enemy that you actually blocked. So you can have like weaker enemies attack you, and then you can like chain stun the tougher enemies. So yeah, you can do that. So that's a good thing. But I personally myself prefer the Stupefy from the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince Wii game from 2009. Oh yeah, you could just like spam Stupefy and then you eventually won. What a wonderful combat system. Better than Hogwarts Legacy, I'll tell you that right now. No one's gonna be mad in the comments. It's fine. If you wanna know more about Hogwarts Legacy, be sure you click the video that's popping up on screen. Alright, just click it. Thanks. Bye.